Good morning, everybody. It is December 14th, 8:25 a.m. A nuts day yesterday. Crazy, to say the least. Okay? That was a crazy day. Insane. Okay? Um, I've never seen a gap fill like that large in one day. That was pretty crazy. Okay? That really shows me the market. A couple things. Okay, we have big news today, FOMC, right? So what that told me was whoever was long, okay, and whoever was long was like, hey, I'm taking my profits now, okay, because today's going to be another violent day. And would you want to lose all what you went long for? No. So you're going to take profit, right? And then whoever was going to get long, new buyers coming in because of that number, well, they got hammered. All right, and we wound up taking back the whole move. Took back the whole move. Crazy. Just insane. Took back the whole move. So, and now, of course, what do we have today? We have FOMC. We have FOMC. We have crude. But the large thing is the FOMC at 2 o'clock. And they're going to give us the rate. We already know it's going to be 50 basis points. That's no secret. But in the press conference and in the statement, are we going to get a dovish or hawkish? Or are we going to talk about the Fed dot plot? Are they going to raise the rate, the Fed's fund rate, to be higher than 5%? Is Jerome Powell going to talk about the CPI? Are they going to talk about it like they started winning the battle? This looks good. Or are they going to say this isn't it? That doesn't mean anything. All those types of things, all those words where the algos kick in and think about this as a positive or negative for the market. This really decides what we're going to do. If he mentions some type of pivot, pause, whatever, and talks about how wow, inflation really is coming down, then market's going to go higher. But if he's kind of hawkish, it's going to go the other way. So we really have to see, right? Let's look at this watch list. Let's look at that watch list here. Nothing to know. I mean, crude is up 1%. Bitcoin's up 1%. The VIX is high. No, TNX is up. That's interesting. The Dow's pretty much flat. The dollar's flat. ES is pretty much flat, down slightly. Russell down slightly. Nasdaq down 0.17, and that's it for that. The only thing I see here is coin is up 1.58%. Maybe the Binance scare with the USD coin, non-withdrawals. Now that's been taken care of. Maybe that's why coin's getting a little pop here. Tesla's down 1%. That's notable. Apple is letting third-party app store in Europe. So that's interesting. They're not gonna have the whole monopoly on the app store. Crude. We got Chevron, Exxon's up a little bit. That's nothing. No laggard to speak of. Sector-wise, yeah, energy, but the lagger is communications. Communications only down 0.6. I mean, is it crazy down? Not really. Not really. So, um, that's what I'm looking at there. So let's just get into the daily chart, all right? Which that not is not the daily chart. So let's get into the daily chart. Okay. So We all know what happened yesterday, but we can just see it on that chart here. Okay, so we're gonna so yesterday a couple things happened. We made this move, right? Or we opened up here, obviously pre-market in the overnight session in futures, we were up high, right? So, but see this high here? That's where we kind of like found resistance, and then we came off, right? So we broke this trend line, we rocketed above the 200-day moving average, and then that all came and get taken back. We came down. If you notice where we came down, we hit the 20 and the 90 MA daily, right? But we hit the top of this little balance area. And what do you know? The 61.8 fib. Okay, those acted as support, and then we wound up closing a little green. But look at that candle. That's an ugly candle, right? So today, I mean, if you notice, there's a little bit of a wedge with these trend lines, upward trend line here. So we're gonna break out of these if this wedge. We're going to 411 maybe, or we're going back down to 393, test 388, 390, right? It's just we don't know, right? So we're right here right now in the SPY. Most traded price of the month's down here, 395. So it's really like everyone's waiting. I mean, there's not probably much going to be going on in the maybe probably in the first hour, but then after that it's going to die. I wouldn't expect much from the market. All right, let's look at the Qs and Qs. So the Qs have this downtrend line. It hasn't hit it, right? And the Qs really came up to this high and found resistance, right? And then we came all the way back down, the same as the ES, found support at the 20 and 90 MA daily, as well as the highs of this little range, right? So again, in the Qs, we're looking at 280 as support to go down to, and then we can move our way down here, 272. All right, and we have that wedge as well. So we're looking here. We don't really have anything. We have a gap here. I would say 307 to look up here. 200-day moving average actually 303. Okay. Now where's that 100-day moving average? All right. So the 100-day moving average was acting as resistance here, and we closed underneath it again. So that 100-day in the Qs and the 200-day in the SPY has really been a little bit of a pain in the ribs there. All right, let's look at the triple-headed monster. Now, we're in this range. Still not showing us their hand, right? Still not showing us the hand. So, smart money. No direction yet. All right, let's look at that dollar. Dollar's holding support here at 103. Dollar's down slightly at 103. So the dollar's been in a big downtrend, right? Good for commodities. Okay, good for equities, right? Let's look at that VIX. So the VIX is wild, right? So the VIX came all the way up, went all the way down. It opened here, went all the way down to here. Now we're at 22, right? So we have a little uptrend coming here. Let's make that apparent here. Let's go with this. It was this uptrend, and then it kind of broke, but I'm gonna put one here. Okay. All right. So let's go to market profile. Let's look at the move yesterday. All right. Okay. Okay. So We got the move. You can see these single prints, okay? They're right here. Now, in order for you guys to see them, it's white. My plugin on NinjaTrader paints all single prints white boxes for me, okay? So all this was from the CPI print up to here. Okay, there were some singles up here too. Okay, but then we started holding these levels, created some volume. Okay, we created some volume in the overnight session before the market opened. Well, then it closed here, hence why we opened here. But you can see there was no print higher than the open. It was an open, called that an open drive lower, which means you just open and straight drive down lower. Okay, so this volume here was taken out very swiftly because what did he do? My girl Rosita loves this analogy. Not sure if who's watching or listening. I call it a toothpick holding up an elephant. Okay, so here's the toothpick. Here's the elephant. It doesn't always mean it's going to get crushed. The toothpick's going to break. Okay, it doesn't mean that. But when you come down and you got some volume on your side, okay, and you probably have people who were long for this move when we opened, took profit because of today. Okay, then what happens is you call this cleaning the single prints. So when you move down like this, look what we did. We went all the way down, cleaned all those single prints. The toothpick has broke. Alright, now only market profile shows you this. You don't see this in a candle. Only market profile shows you this, okay? Now, that was all taken back. Now realize over here, right? This was the beginning of the move. Look where we did go lower, right? But look where volume came right in there. The start of the move. So we closed at the start of the move. Now, I can zoom in now to show you yesterday's session with the single prints, right? And I can show you what my plugin does. Okay, you can see the white boxes here. It paints white boxes for me, so I can just go, okay, emotional buying or emotional selling. In this case, emotional buying, right? Now, yesterday we have some single prints on the way down. Okay, you can see my plugin painted these single prints right here. That's on the way down. So when we came down, no other price overlapped these prices. Okay, you can see the volume very thin. Okay, so then price came down here. We made a couple more single prints. Those, you can see the volume very little, right? So it was pretty violent only here and here, right? Because there's some volume here. We had some two-way action here. So I'm not telling you to put too much weight. I'm just explaining the single prints. Okay. So what do we have? We came down here into this demand zone. We popped right out. We also had the 9 EMA daily and the 20, like I talked about earlier. We also had monthly VWAP right here. All right, we bounced. And like I said, here's the start of the emotional buying. Right here is the start of the single prints. Where did we start? Where do we settle? Close right here. Where's the most trader price of yesterday? Right here. Okay. So here's the low of the overnight, 40.44. Okay. Here's the high, 40.72. Okay. Got a very balanced session. Very balanced. Okay. Price is right here. So today, right, I don't expect much edge for myself off the open. Not right now. I don't see like, ooh, right, not right now, right? And I did tell everybody pre-market, I said, hey, if we come down, which I didn't think was likely because we were so high to the 200-day moving average, which is right here, I wanted to go long. I mean, I didn't just go long and hit it, but the 15-minute 9 EMA and this was confluent. When we came down to it, I got long. I wound up getting a decent, not decent, okay. I scaled into it, so I wasn't like putting a lot of risk on it. I got an okay profit, but eventually, obviously, we fell. We broke the 200-day moving average, which then took the market down, right? So that's what we're looking at, right? We still have most traded price of the year, the month, the week down here. Okay. Now today, there's not much nuance you can speak about. Okay, because this FOMC is gonna blow through every technical analysis when that comes out. You have to let the dust settle. All right, but this area is still key. All right, let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq. Let's bring this down a little bit. All right. Well, the Nasdaq, there's a supply zone up here. Almost went into it. Right. Nasdaq had the same, a little different story. This is called an open test drive. Okay, this is just some market profile terminology. Doesn't mean you have to know it or not, but what that means, it's open, it tests, and then it drives down. That's what happened in the Nasdaq. Okay, there's all the single prints that got cleaned. Okay, now same story. We all know the same story, right? And we have a pretty balanced session overnight. Got the low, the high. We're in the middle of yesterday. Most traded price, but then we have, what do we have? Most traded price of the month and the year down here. Okay, so same story. I'm not going to rehash it all because it's the same story. Not a lot of edge right now. Okay, now what I can do see, I didn't mention that the most traded price of the week is here. We are starting to build some volume here, but like I said, FOMC today. Okay, like it's some of the stuff that's not going to matter. Not really, because once that happens, that comes out, you're going to see the algos kick in. You're going to see support, resistance, demand, moving averages get cut through, and then you're going to have to assess the situation. Okay, let's look at where we are here. So assess the damage. Here's this big node. We know we came up to it. We fell from that node. We didn't make it back to the most traded price. Okay, we're holding here. Hence this little node here. Okay, that's where we're at right now. FOMC negative could bring us back to this area. If we break this area, it probably looks like we're going down here around 38.48. Okay, if we go higher, we're revisiting up here, which is around 41.89. Okay, that's just what we're gonna do. We're there's a lot of longs here. Boy, if you start to work around this node and work down, that is just a lot of support here at around 39.47. Okay. All right. Let's look at the Nasdaq really quickly. So NASDAQ, right? Most shit price of the month right here. That's that big level. Where did we come? We came right here. Okay. Now, same thing. A lot of support here. Probably go down to here. Right here. 111.25. That's probably the weak point where we go to. And then I think because we're here, we retest this resistance up here. Where's that resistance? It's around 122.35. Okay. That's basically what I'm showing you, those levels. Okay. Give me my watch list. Let's go look at the hourly chart. Again, there's another day of technical nuances that I usually talk about don't matter as much today. It just don't, because the news is so big. All right. So I'm going to bring you over to the hourly charts. We'll just look at what I'm looking at, right? Because I'll show you some support and resistance lines for the day. Maybe you get a little trade from the first hour. But I have enough experience to know that, like, that's just games. I'm not saying something can't show itself and you can't make money. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, the big money is going to be made at the FOMC and as to digest the move. All right. So, here's the ES. Obviously, we came way up here. This is just nuts. This is nuts. How we came all the way back and retraced that move. That is crazy. People just wanted more information. You know, I don't blame them. I didn't. Yesterday. I normally would put on a lot of option plays because of the CPI, and I was like, nope, I don't trust Wednesday. That could all be taken back. I'm not going to trust. There's going to be. I don't trust the follow through. And look, neither did the market, right? So, anything to note here? We have a trend line here. It's been held up. I put tiny weight into it maybe for the first hour. But what do we have here? We have a 40.46 support, a 40.70 resistance. Resistance also held the 200 moving averages right there. We have supply zone right here. So this is the playground, probably for the first hour. You probably do something like this, come back in, do something like this, come back up. Something, right? Something. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ. All right, as far as the NASDAQ goes, here's our little range: 119.17 support, 120.13 resistance. Now this is pretty good resistance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times couldn't break out. Like I said, same thing as the ES. Okay, that's probably this area in here is probably going to get a little boop and come back in, or we're going to get boop and come back. And then we're going to die waiting for 2 o'clock. Okay. So there's not a lot to, I mean, you have a nice trend line here as well that's been being held up. You break that, like I said, maybe we come down, test the 9 EMA to 20 MA again. But I'm not expecting huge, anything big. All right. Okay. I'll end it with quick. Like I said, not a lot of nuance today. I don't want to just put scenarios out there if I don't believe in them. All right. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. What I think could happen today. I'm only going to give 2 scenarios here. If we go up, we can break the overnight high, look at the 200-day moving average, pop above, probably come back and balance. Okay. Same thing on the downside. I think we can come, even break the overnight low. Even maybe test monthly VWAP in the 20 MA and and the 9 MA daily and pop back up and balance. Honestly, that's what I see happening. I think there's a good probability of that happening. Okay. Same thing in the Nasdaq. open up, grab like squeeze some of the shorts in the overnight, come into the supply zone, maybe pop up, come back down, bounce. Okay, same thing here. Break the overnight low, come down to monthly VWAP, play around with these moving averages, even maybe dip into this demand zone and pop up, and then we wait. That's it. I don't really see us going crazy. I'd be pretty shocked if we make a hefty move before FOMC, unless some other news comes out. Okay. All right. So that's gonna be it for me. Give me a comment, like or subscribe. I'll leave you with the watch list. So let's let's see at 2 o'clock. Right. Let's see at 2 o'clock if we um get anything a note. Okay. That's really what we're gonna look at. You know, I have to just see what happens at 2 o'clock. Otherwise, the scenarios I gave, if everybody wants to take a stab at those, you know, I'll be looking at the market, and if something presents itself, I'll do it. But other than that, you gotta wait. All right, comment, like, or subscribe, and good luck to everyone out there. Stay green today. Don't get too crazy with moves. Don't expect big moves. Could it happen? Yes, but I think it's a lower probability. And I'll probably, I don't know, probably not do an update much. Maybe I will after FOMC, maybe after an hour after it. We'll have to see. All right. Well, good luck everybody today, and I'll see you guys.